All right, here's a video that I didn't think I was ever going to have to do. There's a lot of reasons I didn't think I'd have to do it. One, because I thought it was already decided, and I think it was decided a long time ago. You see, Google never really cared about ad blockers, and now they do, and that means there's going to be big problems for people who use them. Seriously, I'm not kidding. Here we go. So in this video, I promise you, we're just going to dive into the latest experiment to combat ad blockers coming from the biggest one that would be concerned with it, Google. That's right, because YouTube is, well, it's supported by ads, and a lot of people actually employ ad blockers to, well, get around watching commercials.
So it's not free?
And they're actually actively trying to figure out a way to make people either watch commercials or have them subscribe to YouTube Premium. And of course, they do want to drive subscribers to YouTube Premium, but they also want people to view ad-supported content because they make a lot of money off of it. And right now, ad tech financially is down considerably. So, Culture, how are they planning to do this? Well, it looks like they're thinking that they're going to apply some kind of 3 strikes rule, and that should, well, alarm everybody. But what exactly does the 3 strikes rule mean? Well, it means that you're going to actually see, experimentally, a pop-up message like you would normally in a browser or, maybe on some other thing that you watch your videos on that essentially suggests that, hey, we've noticed that you have a pop-up blocker and you need to disable it, or you might not be able to view this content. And that's all fair and good, except for one thing. It's never really worked before. So taking an experimental approach to see if it'll agitate too many people with ad blockers is one thing, but the consequences could be rather dire for YouTube. And I think that YouTube, with its flaws, and many other platforms that I'm on, which also have their own flaws, should not try to drive customers away. You drive customers right into the hands of your competitors. So if you end up with a pop-up that says, hey, you get 3 strikes here, you need to disable your ad blocker, then you could move a considerable portion of your audience over to Rumble or Kick or Odyssey or anywhere else that's somewhat viable at the moment. And because this is a limited experiment, you're starting to see the occasional screenshot from people on Twitter and other social media platforms. And these screenshots basically intimate the idea that after watching 3 videos with the ad blocker on, your viewing ability will be removed. Of course, as I mentioned before, the rationale here makes a lot of sense. I mean, the reason they're giving you this warning message is because, well, YouTube's free. Well, sort of. I mean, obviously it takes your time in the form of ads, but they want it to, quote unquote, remain free for its billions of users worldwide. And you get to pay for that with your time. And at the same time, it does promote the YouTube Premium experience, which allows you to watch without any ads whatsoever. And that doesn't matter what you're watching on, it carries over with your account from your phone to your laptop to your television and your computer. Now, YouTube has actually confirmed that this is something that they're doing. They're conducting an experiment, and they're stressing that viewers who disregard repeated requests to allow ads may be cut off from accessing content on the platform entirely, which is a rather slippery slope and very dangerous when there are so many new options that are really starting to perform. We also don't know exactly how widespread this messaging is. It could be, well, it could be everywhere. We just don't know. It could infect hundreds of people, thousands of people, tens of thousands of people, considering just how many people watch YouTube every single day. And of course, as I mentioned before, this is all driven by money, because ad tech is in a bit of a bind right now with, well, declines across the board. Over the past 3 quarters specifically, at least for YouTube, they've seen a decline in their ad-generated income, which is making this kind of a critical mass point for them. And to be fair, they're not the only ones. Consider Netflix, for example, who basically is trying to prevent people from password sharing. You also have a different revenue model there, but it's the same idea. It's not unique. You're seeing a lot of, well, crackdowns on either passwords, obviously ad blockers, and so on and so forth. I'm seeing it everywhere, including on websites that I browse. And because of the success with YouTube, as I've reported here before, it's suggesting that these kind of outcomes that these companies are looking for are rather positive. At present, with YouTube Premium, you basically have an ad-free experience, and you get offline video downloads, which I've never found useful. It boasts about 80 million subscribers, so they are making plenty of money from that. And although the ad blocker test is currently in a limited scope, we don't know exactly how large it is, as I mentioned before, there's a possibility that it could expand worldwide if it's successful. Hey Grant, have you seen anything like that in Australia?
Nah, it's not going on like that, mate.
In analyzing this, I will just say that it makes a little bit of sense in some ways, but at what cost? You could frustrate a lot of viewers out there if this goes wide, and they'll just ignore it anyway. And it also goes against a lot of research that Google did just a few years ago while basically trying to just let ad blockers be ad blockers. Obviously, they want to push more people towards the YouTube Premium, or they may just want to push people away, people that they don't desire, so they will reduce their ad rates. And that's the biggest factor here. With as many users as you have globally, and with ad tech going downhill, do you really want to disenfranchise a huge group of people and push them to somebody else's platform? I'm not sure if we're at a showdown at this point, or if we're on the verge of another adpocalypse. That probably could happen. I mean, we're watching some creator battles happen behind the scenes right now, and I'm not going to get into that drama. But I'm not certain that this is the direction that I would take this company if I were in charge of it. And interestingly enough, as an ad blocker is a plugin on your browser, they're already letting those plugins exist just in Chrome alone. And I will say that this seems like a response to something that we've just found out in the last few days about ads, that YouTube may be in for a huge class action lawsuit worth untold hundreds of millions of dollars. Why? Well, because of how embedded YouTube links work, and whether or not there's actually somebody on the other end viewing them. In fact, that may end up being a whole other conversation. I believe Jeremy at the Quartering already covered it, but I noticed some nuances he didn't get to, so maybe we'll get another video out of that. But I am curious what you think. Are you willing to watch a few more ads to keep your YouTube free, or are you going to spend the big bucks and get YouTube Premium? Either way, somebody's going to have to pay if Google pushes forward with this. And at this point, they may not have a choice, because there's some potential danger on the horizon. Also, do you agree with me that this could actually help their competitors by driving them over to another platform where there are fewer or no ads, and you could actually just watch with pure enjoyment? Now, nothing's free forever, especially not the internet. But I think that, there's going to be some hand-wringing for a while, and we'll see how it shakes out. But I am curious about your opinion, so leave your comments down below, and we'll talk about this a little bit. And with that, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene. And until next time, bye.